Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Dark Council podcast. It is I, the freelancer, here with Jake.
Yo!
And for our special holiday episode of 2024,
It's
our
Christmas.
second to last podcast for this year, because we got the one next week, and that'll be our last one of the year.
Yup. Hey, Krampus.
A Crimbo.
Not Krampus.
But yeah, we are here on here that weekend before Christmas, and we are here to bring you all a special episode in regards to our latest topics.
Yeah, the holiday specials here, baby.
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up, that's next year. Maybe.
You're gonna try and put that off as long as
I'm gonna do as much as I can. Until people give me a reason to actually do it, I'm not gonna fucking do it.
Christmas special!
We're not doing the fucking Life Day special. It's not happening.
It's gonna be great, dude.
Oh,
This man out here, chat, this man out here hates Life Day.
I don't know what the Star Wars equivalent of Bah Humbug is.
Yo! Okay, hold on. Don't worry about me. Keep going.
Yeah, anytime he says that, I should immediately worry.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's completely okay.
You do not give me the vote of confidence when you do shit like this.
You are not the Chancellor, so I'm allowed.
I mean, we don't run off the Republic. We're technically running off Sith fucking mentality here.
You mean a sick meritocracy? That's pretty dope.
So yeah, we're here doing our holiday You're doing holiday bit today, and we are going to be playing. We're going to be talking about our probably the most, I want to say, controversial topic of both eras. Both versions of canon and both canon and legends have their own version of this tale, and it is the tale of somehow Palpatine returned. And today we're going to be poking at both of them and seeing which one did it worse.
Okay, I think I found one.
Oh no.
It's literally just Criff this. Because Bah Humbug literally just means fuck this. But they couldn't say that because it was a children's book. So it's literally just, nah, fuck it. This shit sucks.
I figured that's what you were off doing.
I'll find another one later. Of course I was. Why would you why would you ever even entertain the idea of otherwise?
But yeah, no, we're doing, today is our special topic. While we are busy covering all the warlords and having just cleared the Grand Admiral Thrawn from last week, we are doing our comparison of Dark Empire and the sequels, seeing which one stacks up worse than the other. Spoiler alert, it's probably the sequels.
Yeah, probably.
It's
As much dumb
sheerly
shit happens in the non-canon fan beloved sections, and there are some bad parts. I don't think it's nearly as bad as
even some
the
of the
sequels.
crazy, like, old Bantam era comics and novels, like, those apparently still stack up better than some of the stuff the sequels that Disney's canon tries to do.
Yeah.
They stack up better, still stack up better in comparison. But it neither here nor there. We're gonna be tackling these kind of piece by piece. So I figure I'm gonna actually break these down by category.
Oh,
So
okay.
instead of just covering like this was the narrative and this is why this one was bad, this is the narrative, this is why this one is bad. I figure actually tackling these by actually tackling them in different sections would be a much more entertaining idea. So I figure another way we're also going to do it is we're each going to kind of give a score to each section from 1 to 5. We will rate each one, and by the end we're going to stack up the comparison for which one was actually worse, based off our own scores of what held up better here. So, starting off with our first section, the actual faction that represented them. So, the sequels obviously took the First Order initially for what would be considered their, like, returning faction, essentially. And First Order was more or less just the Empire again.
The Empire, but the same.
The Empire, but they had bigger stuff, because not only did they come back with bigger Star Destroyers in the form of the Resurgence class Star Destroyer, they also came back with a fucking Death Star that was a planet.
Yup.
That quite literally, that its super weapon was it absorbed a star for power to use as ammunition for the super weapon.
Which means they could only use it once.
And then they have to go and send the planet away through hyperspace to go and get another one.
Which is really hard to do.
But they somehow still did it.
So I'm sure we're going to get into this, but I'm going to pose this question right now. If the Empire lost and we're on the back foot, how did they get all of the resources to build a planet gun?
Well, that has to do with the fact of a topic we'll get into next.
Palpatine returned.
We'll talk about that and why I personally think the sequels are going to lose this one. But the idea here is that the First Order was the groundwork for what would serve as Palpatine's foundation for his return, which would come like 2-3 years after the events of the first two sequel movies. Because the first two sequel movies happen in around like 32 ABY. So we're over 30 years, almost 30 years after the events of the original trilogy. Over 30 years after A New Hope.
Okay.
And
So you mean they've been losing constantly for 30 years?
No, because there hasn't been a war going on.
You're right. It was a cleanup operation.
It was more wipe away the ignorance. It was take advantage of the ignorance and blow it the fuck up. Again, stuff we will talk about in another section of this. So we've got the whole basis for that. The Empire's big return was through the First Order, which their whole thing is they were the group that formed in the unknown regions under Vice Admiral Ray Sloan and General Brendol Hux. They were the basis for a secret weapons project that we would come to know through The Mandalorian as Project Necromancer. Which was supposed to be the secret project for Palpatine's immortality idea.
Okay.
It was his immortality complex made manifest. And that was the groundwork for that. The First Order was supposed to basically serve as, let's gather all the people who left the Empire. Like, we lost the Battle of Jakku. Like, that was handedly, they lost. They're fucking off to somewhere, God knows where. Yep. They went off into the unknown regions, never to be seen again.
Never again.
And about 30 years after the Battle of Jakku, less than 30 years, about 25, they would suddenly return as members of the Empire would return under the banner of a group called the First Order. Not under the command of Brendol Hux, however, but under the command of a General Armitage Hux. That would be identified as his son. Or specifically a bastard son than anything, but...
Oof.
Or a more illegitimate son, I guess, would be the more... He had it with some random woman that was in his service, and it wasn't with his wife.
Okay, so yeah, that would be a bastard son.
So he and this woman basically ran off with his son to the unknown regions when the Empire made their big, like, we're getting the hell out of here, we're done. We got other shit we can take care of in the unknown regions. So they went off and started building up a power base out there. Alongside this, we would also come to learn that Luke's Jedi Temple would basically be killed by a 12-year-old.
Yup, because that's how it works.
And that would serve as our Walmart Darth Vader for this whole bit. Because Kylo Ren would also come to join the First Order, having been whispered sweet nothings at the behest of a Supreme Leader Snoke. Which, in essence, he would ultimately be another pawn in Palpatine's grand scheme, and was actually revealed later to be a failed clone of Palpatine's master.
Which, I will say right now, I fucking called that shit.
Yeah, it's like what a lot of
first movie.
What a lot of people were kind of thinking. Was it was either a clone of Palpatine or it was a clone of Plagueis. Was kind of the big thing.
Yep.
But yeah, no, Snoke was a failed clone of Plagueis, and Palpatine basically used him as a puppet, as we would come to know later. Because by the final movie, Palpatine has returned. And he has come back under a new Sith Empire, essentially, under the guise of a organization known as the Final Order. This was basically Palpatine's new Sith regime, which would come to replace the First Order in large part as the main force. Palpatine would return with a fleet of over 100 Star Destroyers, with a special super weapon born into them that would identify them as a Zyston class Star Destroyer.
Is that the one with the
planet? It's the one with the planet killer.
The huge one.
It's the big one with the planet killer underneath.
Yeah, the one they fucking hyperspace rammed.
No, that is a different one. So that is actually Snoke's flagship, and that is the Supremacy Star Dreadnought.
Ugh. Fucking terrible names.
Yeah, they're not great. They're not the greatest of names. They could very much be better, but they aren't. But we go through that whole piece, and again, Palpatine has returned. And you want to know what's fucking awful?
What you got?
His return message is broadcasted in only one place.
Fucking terrible.
And you want to know what that place is?
What you got?
This supremely strange and unfortunate existence known as Fortnite.
Oh, fuck! I forgot about that! Ugh.
You can only hear... It was only ever fully broadcasted, the message of Palpatine's return, through Fortnite. Through a limited event that they did several seasons ago.
It's fucking terrible.
Yep. But Palpatine returns, and that's the... And on top of having a new Star Destroyer, having lost one of his officers in his little triumvirate of the First Order, that being Kylo Ren, Armitage Hux, and Phasma. Phasma is now officially dead, because she dies aboard the Supremacy.
Phasma was such a goddamn jobber.
Yeah, she was.
I like the idea of Phasma, like just a super cool. Like,
I think I think that's
Trooper commander.
It falls into that same kind of category. What we were talking about with Zinj. Zinj does a lot of really cool stuff, and he pulls off some fucking insane stuff, but he really does just get jobbed by the end.
It's real bad.
But you get that whole piece, and then you've got that whole bit, and then you have the the new leadership of one General Pryde, alongside...
That's kind of a cool name. I'll take that. That's a cool one.
Who would then later go on to kill Hux, because Hux was a traitor for the Final Order. A resistance sympathizer, where they're not rebels anymore.
I want to know how they went from being the Republic to the Resistance.
Because the New Republic doesn't have anything to do with this. And again, we'll get to that.
It's so fucking dumb.
The baseline of that is we can thank Mon Mothma for that.
That bitch.
But yeah, we go through this whole bit of the new leader. The new slot filled was General Pryde joining as a commander in place of Phasma, essentially. And he would go on to basically be Palpatine's replacement for Tarkin more than anything. Though Pryde was far more ruthless, because the real showing of him just not giving a fuck was when he confronts Hux after the Resistance, after Finn and all of them escape with Chewbacca and Rey, and he's questioning Hux. He has a stormtrooper hand him a blaster rifle. He literally whips around and just fucking whacks him with a blaster bolt to the chest, sending him fucking flying.
Yeah.
Absolutely just drops him.
It's rough out here, dog.
But Pryde's won, and eventually Kylo Ren would drop off that radar as well, because feelings.
Yeah.
He finally,
does have those.
To be fair, it was more so he finally gained a sense of rationale and wasn't just blinded by the voice of some fucking ghost in his head.
But it's a spooky ghost, dude.
It was a spooky ghost of his grandfather, specifically.
Spooky ghost, dude. Who's spookier than fucking Darth Vader?
Except even Vader's voice was not his own. It was another ploy by Palpatine.
Yeah.
because Snoke and Vader's voices were twisting in his head, and all of that was just Palpatine. Because it's literally a line he tells him is just, I have been every voice you've ever heard inside your head. Each one shifting from Palpatine to Snoke to Vader. But that's
Marishrika doll of fucking Palpatine's machinations.
On top of that, we also had a bunch of top of the Zeiston Star Destroyers, which were, by the way, a Star Destroyer that by its own size is double the size of a normal Star Destroyer.
Yup. It's got to be bigger, dude. Bigger is scarier.
To be fair, it also has to be bigger because it's complementing a planet killer underneath. It's a Star Destroyer with a planet killing Blicky.
Yup. Blicky, shut the fuck up. Awful. Awful.
I mean, it's not big enough to be considered a proper cannon. At least in comparison to what the Eclipse has, which we will get to. Palpatine also would end up fielding a new series of stormtroopers in the form of Palpatine's Final Order would also field a unit of special stormtroopers that would identify as Sith troopers, clad in red and black armor. These had their own jump trooper variant, and they also were assigned new uniforms after the initiation of the Final Order. All of the First Order's command would be reassigned and reuniformed and reclad in official Final Order and Palpatine's new Sith Empire garbs. He would also have his own basically secret cult with a new form of royal guard to protect his body, because Palpatine himself was basically just a fucking disheveled corpse on a life support machine.
Yep.
He was a skeleton away from being the next iteration of Big E.
He was Mr. House, dude.
Yeah. yeah. Except this time the house didn't win.
Surprisingly enough. You heard it here first, kids. The house can lose. Go gamble.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Don't do that.
Do not do that. Do not take his advice.
For legal reasons, that was a joke.
For legal reasons, this was indeed a gag.
There was a bit.
It was a bit.
It was a haha. It was a goof.
It was a funny haha.
It wasn't even that funny.
It wasn't, but
yeah, man, I'll take it.
Yeah, Palpatine basically had been building that whole power base up and all throughout the unknown regions, trying to specialize his field essentially. But in essence, his whole grand scheme was essentially to just get a proper body that could properly contain his power, because he was literally too powerful to keep up the bodies of the clones he was going through.
But dude, he has unlimited power, so that's
Exactly.
gotta be a really hard time finding a body.
Luckily for him, he was able to use his clones and make a offspring.
Ugh.
Pulling a much more twisted version of Boba here, he created a son of himself and would end up, and said son would end up leaving and having his own child. That being Rey Palpatine. Who would be dumped off?
Skywalker.
Shut up.
That was intense, dude.
Rey gets dumped off at Jakku by her nobody parents, who get absolutely jobbed by another jobber who doesn't even get jobbed on screen.
Dude. So many jobbers in Star Wars, dude.
So many jobbers in Disney. There's a lot of glove shittos. Even Palpatine's own son was, in fact, a glove shitto.
Oh, that's rough.
You know, they both die. The guy who kills him dies, but they're apparently not before leaving behind the only key to the only other piece that would, the only other item that Palpatine specifically had to guide them to him. That being a Sith Wayfinder.
What is a Sith Wayfinder?
A special artifact that basically acts as a star map, but needs a very special item to track it. That being a handcrafted dagger that provides you a map specifically to where the Death Star's remains are.
Disney can't help but just steal ideas. Can't help himself. The mouse is a rat.
He is, in fact, a rat. The mouse is secretly a Skaven in disguise. Who'd have thunk it?
Mickey Mouse, Skaven in disguise.
Oh my god.
Oh, I felt bad for that one. That one
all right.
rough.
Yeah, no, that's our whole bit on the First Order. Now let's actually talk about the fucking Dark Empire side. Or as Palpatine actually calls it, the Reborn Empire.
Go for Papa Palpatine.
Go for Papa Palpatine. And so this one gets a similar idea of Palpatine want clone. Palpatine clone body a lot. Palpatine want body to hold soul in. So he decides to tell Leia that I'm gonna go and possess the body of your unborn son.
Yeah, because he could just fucking do that shit.
Literally on his deathbed, telling her, I'm going to pass from this body, and then I will take over your unborn son that you didn't even realize you had.
That's crazy.
Because by this point, Jason and Jaina Solo are both born. No, Ben Solo is not a Legends character. Ben Skywalker, however, is.
I love Ben Skywalker.
We've got, Jason and Jaina are born by this point, and we are also at the point where we are about to have Anakin Skywalker. We are about to have Anakin Solo on this one. It's not Anakin Skywalker, it is Anakin Solo. It doesn't throw anybody off anymore. They decided to flip the script on Kylo here, and instead of calling him Anakin, instead of actually following through on the bit and calling him Anakin, they decided against it and went with Ben, which was Obi-Wan's nickname.
Yeah. Awful.
Was the nickname and alias that he utilized when he was in hiding or on missions. Which didn't make as much sense to me narratively. I don't see how Han would. I would rather see Leia naming him after Anakin rather than naming him after Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Like, name him after your actual parentage. You're gonna
name them after your brother's adoptive dad.
Don't name him don't name him after your basically uncle.
Cringe.
It's Luke's job because he actually has the emotional attachment to Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
He's the one who gets that right.
He is allowed.
Of course, Luke doesn't even have any kids yet. He also is not hooked up with Mara Jade yet. Mara Jade also is nowhere.
Dude. Mara Jade's such a baddie.
Mara Jade is kind of off doing her own thing at the moment following the end of the Thrawn campaign. But to add on to it, Luke is also going through a bit of a phase.
Yeah, it's a
because
understatement.
Luke go evil. Dark Jedi Luke is real in Legends. He actually, he does in fact follow Palpatine during the time of the Reborn Empire for like a very brief stint of all of 6 months. Because he starts to learn more about how to actually utilize and master the Force, and actually demonstrates this. I believe one of the first demonstrations of this is when he helps Han and Leia when an AT-AT comes in, and he uses the Force to basically crush the control pod of the AT-AT.
Yeah. God, he's cool.
So much cooler in Legends.
So much cooler. Most of the characters are cooler in Legends.
They are.
I would say almost all of the characters.
Although different characters are dead in Legends than they are in canon.
Yeah.
Because really, we only lost Chewbacca in Legends.
Rip one of the homies.
Rip the homie.
Rip the singular homie, dude.
Yeah, we are at the point where Luke is kind of going through this weird phase because he's finally getting the handle of using the Force and is learning some new ways of using it. I.e., he started learning to tap a bit into the dark side. And he has started to utilize that power to help against this new rising threat of Imperial forces that are popping up more and more all over the galaxy for no particular reason.
Weird how that happens.
At the same time, this new machine thing has popped up, and it's tearing apart territory in the Mon Cala sector. And there are only vague reports of what it's doing. The fact that the Earth is literally being upended and is being swallowed up into this massive dark monstrous machine. But they don't know what to do about it yet.
There's something that just hits really good with Star Wars super weapons. They're just cool.
They are, in fact, cool. But of course, that's not the only thing that's happening at this point, because Luke's gone off the radar. Luke's dropped off the grid. And guess what's happening?
It's gone schnuts.
We're getting word that the Empire itself has returned. And not in the sense that some warlord has taken over. Like, there's an actual, like somebody is openly proclaiming the Empire is still alive and it's coming back.
The Empire is real.
They're here, and they are mostly human. And they're coming.
Whoa, dude, phrasing.
And Leia decides that they're gonna go Leia decides she wants to go investigate because they believe that Luke may have gone off the radar somewhere, follow his tracks back, and find out that he disappeared to a planet near the core, the planet Biss, where Palpatine had made his new sanction. A hidden Imperial palace was stowed away on the planet here. And this, as well as a special facility, which makes all the more sense of what Isar discovered under the Imperial Palace, That being a mass array of Sparti cloning cylinders.
Dude, Palpatine sure does love his palaces, dude.
He also loves his clones.
A lot of them.
No,
not just his clones, just clones in general. He just fucking loves clones.
Yeah. Yeah. Why do you think he kept a clone of fucking Sabayos somewhere?
Yeah.
Just hidden away.
Fucking loves clones, dude. It's
even
insane.
Even went as far as making a clone of Luke.
Well, he didn't do that.
Well,
he just kept the piece around so he could if he wanted to.
And Sabayos went and decided he was
Sabayos
going
was
to.
like, I'm doing it.
I'm gonna make my own Luke.
With Blackjack and Hooker.
They do this. They go through this whole bit, and Luke is like, he's fully in service to Palpatine. Like, he's playing this whole thing up like he is fully under Palpatine's like authority.
Yep.
He's gone fully off the deep end. At the same time, Han is trying to deal with the fact that there's still this weird menace that is making its way to Mon Calamari and the planet that they identify later as New Alderaan.
This phantom menace, you might say.
Shut up.
Awful. Can't stop the words of the people.
Awful. Awful. Terrible. Even. Atrocious. Crimes against our world.
I've become the super weapon.
Our super weapon, the cringe bomb.
Oh, dude, it's real.
It's so real.
The cringe bomb is the worst.
You've heard of the A bomb. You've heard of the F bomb. Now prepare for the cringe bomb.
Oh. Cover your heads, head under your school desks. That's how you defeat the cringe bomb. There
is no escaping the cringe bomb.
If the cringe bomb explodes and it's bigger than your thumb, you're in the cringe radius.
Oh god. Yeah, that's Luke is Luke and Palpatine are getting up to some shenanigans, and
they're becoming best friends. They have bunk beds.
Leia's learning that the fact that Luke is serving her, she wants to know what the fuck is actually going on. So she goes to find Palpatine, who now is on his fucking deathbed because this clone body is failing him.
Oh no, who would have thought?
Said literally no. Yeah, he did. It's why when Leia brought herself in to see him, he basically told her, yeah, I'm dying. At least this body is. But I have found a way to move myself through various bodies. These clone bodies don't work. They keep crumbling on me.
I need a real boy.
I need a real boy. As a fact, you have one inside you. You have one inside you. I will take it. And therefore you won't be able to kill me because you can never bring yourself to kill your unborn son that you didn't know you had.
So, I'm going to become a real boy and I'll be able to call you Mommy.
And I will then proceed to try to kill you. I will take over the galaxy and claim it as my own.
What a fucking soap opera ass plan, dude.
Well, turns out Leia did not take exception to that, especially since she just learned she was about to have another kid.
Dude, Han be busy, dude.
I mean, yeah, they went through twins, and now they've got a third child.
Now they have a Sith on the way.
Well, he doesn't actually get to pull that part off. He doesn't get to pull that part off, but that's due to Leia's own efforts here. Because Leia literally smothers his ass. Like, she grabs the fucking pillow and smothers his dying ass in the bed, and then proceeds to run out and then kill all of the clones in the vats outside. Like, she's striking down all of the clones that are in various stages outside of his bedchamber in the throne room. They gotta go. Then she has to go and fight her brother this whole time because he's like, you can't be fucking doing this. We were just about to do some stuff.
We're about to do something really cool and you came in and then ruined it. So Mom said it's my turn with living.
Dad said it's my turn to kill you.
Dad's super into murdering children.
Eventually, during this duel, Leia is actually able to overpower Luke because Luke is still in this fucking, like, phase? I still want to call it because it doesn't seem like
he's wearing the black
yet.
symbiote suit, dude.
It's not like brainwashing in the way it comes off, but he basically fights her, and that's how they go through that. She's able to convince him after she beats him, and he's like, Leia, you saved me. It's fine. I'm better now. I realized the error of my ways. We can fix this.
I am better now.
And then they get word that the New Republic is under attack because Palpatine did in fact have more clones.
Who would have thought?
And guess what that clone had? A Super Star Destroyer.
Oh, shit.
Because you can't be a warlord without a Super Star Destroyer.
True. Thrawn said so in his book.
See, Thrawn's the only exception. Thrawn is the only exception.
True. Thrawn's like, yo, you don't need a super... Just get a fucking regular Star Destroyer. What a dumbass.
Thrawn openly denied any usage of any Super Star Destroyers. He went purely off nothing larger than a standard ISD.
Yeah. Because Thrawn knows that bigger is not better. Look at the Death Star. Look at the Super Star Destroyer. They fucking die quick. Stop giving them weak points like a command bridge and an exhaust port.
They get all of that, and they're on their way back because now this crazy machine, which we later learn is the World Devastator.
God, it's so fucking cool.
Is easily one of my favorite super weapons of this whole fucking narrative. We learn that that's a thing. So on top of this new Super Star Destroyer, which by the way is not another Executor, we are officially at the first new Super Star Destroyer.
Hooray.
That being the Eclipse 2. Because some fuckhead decided to come in and grab the other one from Kuat while it was still being built.
Yep.
And ran off with it, despite everybody's best effort to stop him. Then I guess he just threw it out somewhere because he doesn't ever fucking keep it.
Nope.
He just
I
throws
have
it
it.
away.
Look, it's mine. Put it on the shelf.
Just goes in this corner.
I'm going to keep this in my own palace. It's going to go in my treasure room.
Shall be a spot of honor. It will not be touched by anybody. It is mine. But yeah, no, the Eclipse 2, which is a bigger and more defined version of the original. Especially because not only does it retain its big fucking super laser weapon, which actually is a fucking super cannon, instead of the fucking stupid little dinky, stinky little, like, super turbo laser that the fucking Zeiston has.
Yep.
This thing is basically a full Death Star array built around a basically is the core for a Super Star Destroyer. The super weapon of the Death Star was built around the core of a Super Star Destroyer.
Okay.
It's the A-10 of fucking Super Star Destroyers.
Oh. awful. Just awful.
I mean, it's true. They built the fucking gun for the Warthog, and they basically built a gun, and then they built the plane around the gun.
Yo, my superstar. So dumb.
Look, you've been hating on this early on. It's my turn. My turn to hit the cringe button. Guys, we're not even through this yet.
General Electric built the Star Destroyer, dude.
We're not even through it. We're not through this hellstorm yet because we're not. Because after not only they destroyed the Eclipse and the World Devastator through the combined efforts of Luke and Leia destroying the Eclipse along with Palpatine, and then proceeding to have Rogue Squadron destroy the World Devastator, which you can actually play that mission for in the Rogue Squadron game.
Yes, you sure can.
You actually play through destroying the World Devastator, which is badass.
It's really cool.
You go through that whole piece, and then that's supposed to be the end. Everything is hunky-dory. Except it isn't! Because Palpatine's Operation Shadowhand is not yet complete. Enter various identities such as Executor Cedris, who was a Dark Jedi who originally served during the Clone Wars and became an apprentice of Palpatine in secret.
Oh no!
Alongside another primary warlord entity, the entity known as Sith Spawn was later identified to be the infamous Lord Kronal, who was also another part of the Imperial Intelligence Bureau.
Oh. Not gonna lie, I like the ISB.
Kronal also had a special Star Destroyer that was painted completely pitch black. Like, this thing, let me actually see if I can pull up, let's see if I can grab some pictures of Kronal real quick. Lord Kronal. There we go. Kronal. Yeah, Lord Shadowspawn was his identifier originally. That was the alias he went under for many years. But he was part of the group. He was basically one of the primary collaborators who also had another, supposedly also born with a different name and having a separate code name. His other code name was Black Hole because he was known to wear a completely pitch black suit of armor, and was also known to command a Star Destroyer painted completely black.
Ah, the Dark Forces.
He was also the mysterious. He was actually the full director of Imperial Intelligence.
Nice.
So while Isard was the director in the public eye, Kronal was the real director of Imperial Intelligence. He would also go on to perform. He was also another Force sensitive alongside Cedris, who was rather fucking batshit insane.
Yeah. Most people in charge tend to be. It's kind of crazy.
Especially when they're Sith Lord serving Palpatine.
Yes.
When they're Sith or Dark Jedi serving Palpatine, they're kind of known to do that. Supposedly, he would kind of serve a primary role as one of the many other commanders in he would kind of become one of the many commanders of Palpatine's dark side adepts. Funny side note, by the way, Chronal actually was the dark mentor for Inquisitor Jarek. He is the man who actually taught he's the man who taught Inquisitor Jarek as his master in the Force. And he's actually the one who sends Jarek to the Valley of the Jedi. So Chronal is technically the one responsible here for what we deal with in Dark Forces 2. He's the reason we deal with Jarek's bullshit.
Awful.
Because he's the one who sends Jarek to find the Valley of the Jedi for the Emperor. He also is the one responsible for helping Sate Pestage form the Church of the Dark Side, which was a false version of the Prophets of the Dark Side intended to fill a gap in Imperial spirituality and morale.
I don't like the idea of, like, yes, this is the Church of Evil.
It's the Church of Evil.
We are part of the Church of Evil.
Yeah. But yeah, we there's a lot of various bits about him that honestly kind of want to do a whole video about him. May end up doing a whole video around Chronal because he's got some interesting lore to him. He's got he's got some crazy bits to him, so we may end up doing a bit about Chronal in the future. But to kind of trim the fat a bit, Palpatine had many leaders. He had bored up a ton of Dark Jedi that were under Chronal and Cedrus's command, even making his own like detachments of Force-sensitive stormtroopers. And of course, he built many super weapons.
Many.
Ranging from 2 Super Star Destroyers, the Eclipse II, and the Sovereign, all the way to world-killing factory ships known in the form of the World Devastators, which, by the way, is still probably my favorite fucking thing that Dark Empire does.
Oh yeah.
On top of also creating a whole host of unique war droids in the form of the SD9 and the SD10s, along with the V1 Viper tank droid.
Why does that sound super familiar?
Shadow. They have the Shadow droid, but that's not the one I'm thinking of. It's the X1 Viper. Let me throw the picture to you.
Yeah.
That is the X1 Viper.
That is not what I thought of.
Had a different thing on the brain.
Yep.
Well, we also had these, which were the SD9 battle droids.
Those dudes look dope. They look like that one robot from the fuck is that old ass movie? The Day the Earth Stood Still.
And then we also
they
have
look like the big robot that's like, no, human die, don't touch my guy.
Then we also have the SD10s.
That looked way worse.
Yeah, the sketch on that one is not great. There are better models for it. I think this is the one I think that probably looks better. This one's an actual like model someone made for it. An actual like 3D model. Kind of tries to blend like Dark Troopers and the SD9 together. And kind of the design concept in this one. The model that you get in Thrawn's Revenge, if you actually control Balmorra and you have a high enough influence on it, you can actually build all 3 of these droids. If you're an Imperial faction specifically, I believe. I don't think the New Republic gets them, but I may be entirely wrong there, because I know the influence worlds are different for all of them.
Yeah.
But I know you can actually get the SD9 and SD10, and you get the VX. You can get the X1 Viper if you actually build up a max influence on Balmorra. If you max out your influence score on Balmorra, you can actually get the X1 Viper.
Cool.
Of course, you also, on top of the top of those, you also had the SD. You also had the Shadow Droids, which were a new Starfighter one. That's the Shadow Droid.
That looks pretty cool. I like that. I like that in the same way, like it's like really old sci-fi.
Yeah.
It's like a Cylon ship almost.
Yeah, that's what I think. It's like a Cylon. On top of that, we also were introduced to another craft of ship.
Cylon meets Knight Rider.
We were introduced to another craft of ship in this. Let's see if I can grab a. As this one works. The modular task force cruisers.
I have seen that image before. I'm trying to remember where. I think I was slacking off at work one time when I was trolling Wikipedia, and I saw that.
Yeah, the modular task force cruiser was another ship introduced through Dark Empire.
It's fine.
Yeah, could be better.
Could be better.
But overall, this one was Palpatine lost many lives over the course of this whole campaign, which lasted, by the way, a whole 2 years longer than the Thrawn campaign did. Because Thrawn's campaign was almost a year and a half. Palpatine's operation.
He did all that shit in a year and a half. That's wild.
Yeah.
He almost brought down the Republic in a year and a half. That's crazy.
Because Thrawn's campaign,
Thrawn, my boy.
Thrawn's campaign lasts from 8 ABY to 9 ABY. Palpatine's campaign starts roughly half a year later in 10 ABY, and it lasts until 12 ABY. So a little over 2 years.
Imagine if Thrawn was the Emperor.
Well, that's another weird thing, is Palpatine actually was actually spited by Thrawn. He actually felt spited by Thrawn's attempt to unite the Empire.
Yeah. Because Thrawn was doing a better job.
Well, it's specifically because he didn't try to do it. He tried to do it under his command, not Palpatine's command.
Palpatine was dead.
He don't care.
I don't care that I was dead. You didn't unite them under me. I'm the big important boy.
Yeah, well, the big important boy had one more super weapon outside the Eclipse, the Sovereign, and the World Devastators.
Mom said it's my turn to run the Empire.
The last of Palpatine's crazy fucking super weapons was this nonsense.
Okay, what do we got? What do we got? Can't be as cool as the World Devastator.
The Galaxy Gun.
Oh, fuck off.
Yep.
It sucks.
Yep, the Galaxy Gun. This was the last of the many super weapons that Palpatine tried to organize and build up throughout the course of Dark Empire. Now, kind of given the baseline on all these now, on the broad stroke of each faction, the Final Order, Final/First Order, and the Reborn Empire. How are we feeling? 1 to 5. So let's do Final and First Order first. 1 to 5.
Fucking 0. They suck shit. I hate them so much.
Alright, throwing zeros around.
Bad, dude. I mean, if Snoke was something that was real and he actually was like an actual boss, like he was cooler and written better, I would have probably given it a 3.
But because he was basically jobbered.
Because he was essentially just, look how evil I am! And then he dies immediately. It fucking sucks.
Yeah, I blame Rian Johnson for that one, but...
Dude, it's bad!
Alright, so Reborn Empire.
Like a 4.
Really? That high?
Yeah. Well, I mean...
We're going off the overall like baseline here. These are the overall summarized form of both. So we're kind of going on the overall of both right now. We're going into the specific sections of each part and each segment of their story as we go.
Okay. Probably... No, not a 3, 3.5.
You gonna do 3?
Yeah.
All right.
Because I feel like that would be probably exactly where Snoke would be at if he was cool.
So I'm gonna throw a point to the first Final Order expressly because of the Resistance series and the Sith Troopers.
I mean, the Sith Troopers are just Old Republic.
They're not styled the same as the Old Republic
because
ones.
The Old Republic Sith Troopers were cooler.
That one I will give you, but I will also concede that I am a sucker for red armored stormtroopers. Redesign and color up a stormtrooper in cool armor. Fucking have me.
That's fair. That is fair.
I could give less of a shit about the rest of the tech they had. Though I will give them the supremacy was kind of cool. But that's kind of the only other point I give them. As for the Reborn Empire, on the broad stroke, I think I'm right there with you. I'm gonna give them a 3. So as of right now, the first Final Order is sitting at a 1. The Reborn Empire is sitting at 6. So already, Reborn Empire has the lead. Now we go into our next part to kind of cover here. Their opposition.
Oh.
So let's do a reverse on this one. We're gonna do Reborn Empire's opposition first, that being the New Republic. Now, at this point, the New Republic are fairly well off. They're established as a proper governmental body. They're widespread across the galaxy enough that they have set up bases of power. They've got enough of a military. They are ready for damn near anything. The Empire has played too many games with them over the years, and they're not about to mess with it anymore. And even despite Luke's little ploy there to basically get the one over on Palpatine, it still worked out in his favor. Like, the opposition was much more clean cut in favor of the New Republic on this one. They had a lot of struggles on certain ones because Almora, where all the fucking droids that I just showed you were being produced, that was a fucking mess.
Yeah.
The World Devastators were obviously a chaotic thing they had to deal with, and were it not for the brave and epic efforts of Rogue Squadron, they probably would have struggled with that one.
Yeah, dude, I love it.
And even despite the sheer amount of super weapons Palpatine put out, he was still put down every single time.
Yeah, it's because Palpatine's a jobber.
He is pretty much a jobber.
Kind of bad.
So, looking at their opposition and how they ended up handling them, I think this one's pretty clear cut for kind of defining them. Like, this one's a no-brainer in analyzing. Like, the Dark Jedi that Palpatine, even despite the Dark Jedi, Palpatine fielded the various commanders who had Force sensitivity, even some of the ones that served him well after, like the Pentastar alignment, the Ariadu Authority, all aligned under him.
Yeah.
Paleon even went in line under Palpatine when he returned.
That's because Paleon's a really good follower.
He is. As unfortunate as that is to say. But he is a pretty good follower. But even despite all this, and even despite all the cool shit that Dark Empire, even despite some of the cool shit that Dark Empire throws at us, it still is kind of like the Empire comes out of nowhere. The Empire is ramping up their fucking attack. Like, we know something big is happening. We don't know what's going on precisely, but something massive is coming. And it just so happens that it's a whole multitude of super weapons accompanied by special war droids and whole bunch of super weapons, some special war droids, some force sensitives.
Yep.
Most of which actually end up turning on Palpatine anyway. Or being absolutely just murked. Some of them do go out in glorious battles, but others not so much.
Yeah. Unfortunate.
Some of them do, in fact, get absolutely jobbed. But the New Republic in this one was way more prepared for this threat, which is more than I can say for what our next segment will cover. So let's take a look at the opposition the First Final Order had to deal with.
Final. Okay.
A bunch of ragtag nobodies that were upset the New Republic wasn't doing anything. All of their numbers basically equated to 3 full squadrons of fighters. They were lucky enough to have enough of a skeleton crew to manage starships.
Skeleton crew, you say?
I'm not even gonna entertain that one. I'm not even gonna entertain that one. No, you don't get that one. -2.
You don't get it. That was not yours.
It's for you. The opposition here is way more in favor of the first Final Order, and it's not even until the big Deus Ex of the final bit when Palpatine makes his return and is gearing up to basically throw down with basically whatever fucking the hodgepodge of fucking fighters that the Resistance bring to bear on Exegol, that the forces of the galaxy basically unite to take down Palpatine. And it's not even, and it's admittedly not even that cool a sequence to really see, because it's a very big blob of a lot of every ship ever, and then some ships we've never seen before, all kind of coming in to basically fight the Empire. Big final battle type thing.
Most of those weren't even warships. They were like fucking cargo vessels and shit.
Yep.
They just absolutely murked Star Destroyers.
It's the same. I'm gonna quote the line from the movie. How did they get a fleet when they have no manpower? It's not a fleet, sir. It's just people.
Awful. Fuck. Gross. How do they get so many people? It's just people, sir. Shut up! You're lucky I don't have you flogged!
But yeah, even then, like, when Palpatine gets his fucking power up after he basically force drains everything out of Kylo and Rey, it's basically this whole thing of he doesn't even matter what forces they brought to bear. He's about to bring them all down to bear.
Yup.
He is pretty, because he literally shoots this massive Force Storm up and is just, yeah, I don't need this army. I could just do it myself if I wanted to.
This army is for show.
That's really just all the it wasn't even for the fact that Rey basically gets a second win and is able to basically completely erase Palpatine from existence, that they even get that opportunity.
Yeah.
Like they actually would have lost that whole engagement if Rey didn't just come back to life for some reason.
Somehow Rey returned.
Yeah.
God, dude, the whole fucking movie's bad.
It's not great. It's not great.
I came back with the power of friendship. This isn't fucking anime, Rey.
So again, opposition. How do we rank both? First Final Order, what do we got? 1 to 5.
Final Order, fucking 1. They had cool ships.
All right, so Reborn Empire.
How
do we feel about points towards their opposition?
They both kind of suck.
Yeah.
Fucking 1. They both suck. They're bad.
He's starting to learn. Ladies and gentlemen.
It sucks.
So I'm gonna go same boat. First Final Order 1. Reborn Empire, however, I'm gonna go 2, and it's expressly because I'm factoring in that this is actually a much more extreme force that is being brought to bear.
Yeah.
This is an actual military opposition rather than just, I have a bunch of nuclear bombs on Star Destroyers that I'm going to throw around the galaxy if you don't submit.
If you guys don't listen to what I have to say, I'm going to throw the galaxy's worst temper tantrum, and it's going to be all of your problems.
I'm going to become Star Wars' Kim Jong-un.
Oh, fuck. This sucks.
I throw the biggest temper tantrum and threaten nukes every chance I could get. Because you did something that I didn't like.
I don't like what you did there, so I am going to eradicate life on this planet. That's essentially just sitting there being like, my girlfriend broke up with me, but I'm an inquisitor. Virus bomb the planet. It sucks.
It is really bad. All right. Now we're jumping into the difference. Now we're jumping in the next section because right now Reborn Empire still has the lead. They have upped their lead by 1 after this because First Final Order are still not doing so hot.
No. No, it's bad.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and jump into the next section of this. We're gonna take a look at their actual arsenals.
Okay.
We're gonna look at the actual arsenal and the way their forces were equipped. So, again, we're gonna flip over to the First Final Order to open off. First off, the First Order Stormtroopers.
They're kind of dope.
They are admittedly kind of dope.
They're kind of dope. I don't care what anyone fucking says. Traitor was the best.
Yeah.
Imagine just being a stormtrooper and be like, "That's a lightsaber. All I got is a shock stick. Let's fucking go."
I'm gonna fucking swing on you, motherfucker. I ain't afraid of your fancy laser sword.
You got a laser sword that can cut through fucking anything? I got a stun baton. Let's fucking do it.
I'm gonna beat your fucking shit in. Now, the First Order had a fair bit of different stormtroopers to bring to bear, I will also note. They also had a lot of different designs for all of their stormtroopers. Let me go ahead and show this image that actually shows that off a little.
Okay. The fuck is that last one?
The last one is actually from the Resistance series, specifically the second season. That was a First Order Sith Hunter.
Okay. So like, I look at the other ones like, okay, yeah, I see one from like a comic. Okay, the rest of them are like, one looks like fan art, which I understand. The rest are like actual people, and then there's the 3D animated one. I was like, the fuck.
So first one is obviously standard Stormtrooper. Second one is the Flame Trooper.
Yep.
Third is their Heavy Trooper.
Mm-hmm.
Fourth is the Snow Trooper.
Yep.
Then you've got the Riot Trooper.
Traitor, got it.
Then you have the Security Trooper, or I guess that one's supposed to be the Executioner. It's supposed to be the Executioner Troopers.
Okay.
The next one, I believe, is a Recruit. As you can see, it's only partly armored on that one.
Yep.
Then you have I assume another form of Security Trooper. Because again, they've got the stun baton thing.
Yep.
The one on the last bit is a variant of Jet Trooper. Another one is the Jet Trooper specifically from Rise of Skywalker. Last one, I believe, is supposed to be the Tank Troopers.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second to last is the Tank Trooper. The last one is the Sith Hunter.
Okay. They fly now.
They fly now. That's all their standard designs.
Dude. I'm gonna have a hot take here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have a hot take. The writing for the Marvel movies have fucked up all movies forever.
Yeah.
Every movie has to have dumb little quips in it. I don't need them.
It is in fact unnecessary and unwanted.
All right, end of my hot take.
So
not the last hot take, but the end of that hot take.
So they also had. So on top of those, we also had the various the 3 primary flavors of the Sith troopers, the Final Order employed.
Mm-hmm.
Got to scroll through all of them. First one is the standard Sith Trooper.
Yep.
Third is the Flame Trooper. Last is the Jet Trooper.
Yep. God, Flame Troopers look so cool.
They do.
Just in general, I love Flame Troopers.
Do look really cool. Yeah, they... On top of that, they also had... on top of those, they would also have their own... they also had their own TIE Pilot designs.
Yep.
Which, by the way, do look kind of clean.
They look really nice. I do like those. Yeah.
The First Order pilots did have a very clean design to them. That is one point I will give them in favor, is while they are essentially still a build off the Imperial troopers, all the stormtroopers and everything, they did take the effort to actually redesign their stuff. They put a new they put a new style to everything and actually tried to make it seem a little more unique. Like, this is obviously still the Empire stuff, but at the same time, they went and actually made adjustments to some of their stuff and made some unique stuff in the process. Because we look at the Snow Trooper and the Flame Trooper, like, Flame Trooper originally was just another Stormtrooper, but with red paint.
Yep.
And red stripes on them.
Put some stripes on it.
But the TIE pilots, I think, are the one that really show that big difference. And I actually kind of dig it.
Yeah.
Because they also kind of
smoothed out all the dumb edges.
Yeah, the original TIE pilot designs, admittedly, very rough around the edges. In both a literal and figurative sense.
Yes.
But these kind of smooth. That's another thing. It looks like everything got smoothed out and polished up. Actually makes it seem sleeked and like properly kept. Like, this is a properly organized military, rather than just we handed some schmuck some armor, go do a thing.
Yep.
That was always a big thing I felt with a lot of the Imperial stuff, was it didn't the Stormtrooper armors never caught my eye as much outside like the unique designs. Unless we look at the more unique designs and like styles to Stormtrooper armor, I will never really care that much for Stormtrooper armor over most other designs of the armor. Even if you just add a pauldron to the Stormtrooper armor, I will take that over just the standard armor.
Yeah. Give it some flair.
Put some flair on it. Give it some style. Like, make it actually pop, rather than just being plain white armor.
Yeah. Like, that was the, fuck, who was it? The stormtrooper captains that had the orange pauldron?
Yeah, the commanders had the orange pauldron.
Yeah, like that. Just like that's dope. That's cool.
Even the stand troopers had like special equipment gear to them, and they also had the pauldrons to them. They had like a special equipment pack that they would carry around that stored a bunch of survival gear, and they also also had a pauldron adorned over their shoulder, which made them stand out a little more than your standard stormtrooper. And really, we're shown our first unique design from the Empire with the Snowtrooper in Empire Strikes Back. That's our first really unique design of a like stormtrooper armor. Because we don't get enough. Because outside that and the like the pilots for the walkers, the AT-AT pilots, we don't really get another unique design for stormtroopers until we see the scout troopers in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Which to this day still remain my favorite style of armor.
They're super cool.
There's a reason I like the Storm Commandos, and it's just because I like the Scout Troopers. But that's their infantry that they're running with. We look at some of their armor now. So this one's the First Order ATST,
which I think is just a cooler version of the AT-AT or ATST, the regular one. It looks sleek.
And then we have a First Order AT-AT. Not all that different, but noticeable plate difference.
Yep.
Like the plating style is a marginal difference. And then we have this one, which was the weird walker from Last Jedi, the ATM-6.
I hate that one.
Don't like that one?
No. That one sucks.
Well, it's not the only one on this weird list.
I don't like the fact that it like drags its knuckles.
Well, if you hated that one, you're not gonna like this next one.
Why does it have a grabby arm?
Do not know.
Why does it have a grabby arm?
Do not know.
Honestly, that would have looked way cooler without the front arm.
It's supposed to. I honestly don't know what it is with that one, but it isn't.
Dude, if you just got rid of that front arm, that'd be a super cool fucking... It'd be so cool!
Yeah.
You fucked it up with a grabby arm!
Yep. And we got their speeders.
I think they're both cool and stupid.
Because of the big ass fucking tread on the front.
Yeah.
We also have their actual like
looks cool.
We also have their actual airspeeder,
which doesn't look that bad.
It's just like we took a fucking speeder and took a land speeder and made it a bit armored and put a gun on there.
There must be some perspective fuckery going on, because you cannot shoot that gun from those seats, even with its adjustable arm.
Yeah, I think it's because because in the middle there are boxes. You see it in the center. There are actual like containers in the middle. So there's actually a space someone is supposed to sit there and man that gun. Someone is supposed to sit in there and they are supposed to man that gun.
Okay. That makes more sense then. Because at first I thought that was just like fancified hull plating for like internals or something.
Yeah.
But if that's supposed to be a seat, that makes more sense.
It is a seat.
Okay.
is supposed to be seating.
I understand.
So that pretty much covers all their land arsenal. Now we look at their air vehicles and starfighters. Of course, TIE Fighter, which is more or less just an inverse coloring of the standard TIE.
Yep.
Admittedly, somehow still makes it look dope. I don't know how, but it did. And then, of course, we also have the TIE SF, which is the same thing, but it actually has a adjustable gun pod on it.
Yep.
Because it has a turret mount underneath, and it also gets a special little red stripe on there.
What's that one on the top?
I believe that is a antenna? It's either an antenna or no, that is not an antenna. That is another gun.
Okay.
That is a second turret, which I assume is supposed to be automated.
I would assume so.
Because you can actually sit 2 people in this one, and one person's supposed to man that undergun.
Yep.
So on top of having the 2 laser cannons on it, you also have a array of laser cannons on this one. Or I assume actually they're supposed to be blaster cannons. See, it looks like it's a antenna in other images I'm looking at. Even the Lego set that I'm seeing, it makes it look like an antenna.
Then it might be an antenna.
It may very well be. It's just like folded over.
Yeah.
It was like a turned off antenna. Then we get to, I'm pretty sure this is a Fanon design, but I hope I am wrong about that, though. I don't know how you're gonna feel about this one. This one is supposed to be the First Order TIE Bomber.
No.
Don't like that one?
No. Flip their wings back around.
Don't they give him the inverse wing?
No.
Wasn't that your problem with the TIE Defender?
Yep.
Like, the fact that it had the inverse panel, had an inverse wing strut on it?
Yep. Don't like it.
Well, this one's supposed to be, and this one I guess would be their superiority fighter.
See, that looks dope.
Basically just a TIE Interceptor they gave longer wingspan.
Yeah. That's dope.
Then we have the next one, which is the TIE Dagger.
Don't like it. Nope. Not a fan.
And the last one, which is Kylo Ren's personal starfighter, the TIE Silencer.
Fucking awful. It's like they took
the Interceptor and Vader's Advanced and mashed them together.
Yeah.
Gave it a blocky cockpit.
Yeah. What makes me not like it is the cockpit.
Is that your only problem with it?
Yeah.
So if it was actually the standard, like, circular TIE pod, the circular, like, TIE cockpit hole, actual, like, porthole kind of look, would that be more appropriate for you? Would that make it better?
Yes. Yes.
Interesting to know.
Because, I mean, other than that, it looks just like a regular Interceptor, but with a bulkier body.
Huh.
And I'm okay with that. I like the idea of a more heavily armored Interceptor.
Well, the only other real vehicle of note to really display is the First Order transport.
I prefer the Lambda shuttles.
You prefer the Lambda and the Sentinel?
Yep.
Don't like the fact that it's basically just the fucking the boat for the freaking transport boats from D-Day.
No, don't like it.
Don't like the duck boat ship.
Nope. Here's the thing. You're in space. You do not need to make it look like it can float in water. I don't like it. No, not a fan.
Not a fan.
No.
Well,
can't like it, won't like it, never will.
Well, we're gonna kind of blitz through their capital ships because they really only have like 4 recorded ones. So we have we're gonna go off their first one introduced, which is the Resurgence class, the Resurgence class Star Destroyer.
It looks unfinished.
So the middle part of it is basically the middle part of it, I believe, is actually a whole like extra layer. Because there's
like
actually
they put 2 different Star Destroyers together, just sandwiched one on top of the other.
They took a Star Destroyer, made it slightly bigger, and they basically made that space in between hollowed out and gave it a lot more guns in that little area. Because there's actually a whole array of like minor engineering and utility things on top of a whole host of guns and landing bays.
Landing bays I could get. Those guns can't shoot straight up.
Well, they're also more point defense because they factored in the idea of people trying to like fly through there. They did put in point defense to keep fighters from just flying through that space to target the subsystems.
Just don't make the subsystems visible. Don't put a big hole in your ship and then fill it with little guns to stop enemies from going through that section of your ship. Just don't put the hole there. I hate it.
Don't like?
I hate it.
Well, we'll go through the next one then. This one is the Mandator 4.
It's fine.
Only fine?
It's fine. I don't like that it's real flat.
Don't like how flat it is?
No. Need more depth.
What
is that big thing in the middle?
Big thing in the middle.
Looks like a hole.
Hang on.
Better be something cool, or else that makes the design even worse.
Mandator 4. Let me see here.
That's the most Dorito-ass ship I have ever seen. I can't even call it Dorito. That looks like a slice of New York like pizza.
Is the
oh my god, it's just a slice of New York pizza. Oh no.
And he will never be able to unsee it.
It's so flat except for the crust, which is where the no. Oh!
I think this may actually be it. So I think the center of it is actually supposed to be a massive tractor beam arrays.
That's fine. It still looks like a slice of pizza, and I don't like it.
I think that's supposed to be what all that is around the middle there. Supposed to be like a ton of tractor beam generators. The ship itself is actually supposed to hold some crazy capability to it because it says it has 2 orbital autocannons that could fire a salvo of 2 rounds each in quick succession before a recharge was needed. These weapons dwarfed anything available to officers in the Imperial Navy and had been built to score planets of life. Scour planets? How would you... I don't know. Single shot could obliterate planetary deflector shields as if they were an afterthought and turn 100 cubic meters of crust into vapor and slag. So it was strictly a siege ship.
Okay.
As a siege dreadnought was its particular role. And then we get to the Supremacy, which was the massive Super Star Destroyer that you saw get fucking hyperspace through. This thing.
Awful. The worst designed thing I've ever seen in my life.
That one's the worst, huh?
That one sucks such shit. You know what makes it even worse than that? That design's actually super cool in Stellaris, but in Star Wars it looks like ass.
Well, then we get to the Zyston.
Good. Proper Star Destroyer. I like it.
It's a Star Destroyer with a big-ass blicky.
That's fine. It looks like a proper Star Destroyer. I'm okay with this.
It's a Star Destroyer that has red stripes along the side.
I dig it. I'm down.
The actual super weapon ship is the one you're fine with.
Yep. It's fine. I don't like the idea that you can just put planet killers on just every fucking ship. I think that's dumb. But design-wise, I think it looks cool.
Well, as far as all the other arsenal they've got, that's pretty much it, unless I go into all their like officers and whatever, which I'll pretty much save as another segment for this. So that's the arsenal that the First Final Order are bringing to bear. Now we get into the Reborn Empire's arsenal.
Yeah, they're gonna look so dumb.
Well, it's also gonna look hella similar. So starting off, obviously I don't need to share the droids that I shared with you.
Nope. I already got those.
So, obviously we know what standard fucking stormtroopers look like. We know what the army troopers look like.
Yep.
But then we get the dark troopers. And not the droid dark troopers.
That's unfortunate. They should have just been the droid ones.
An image actually does not do them any fucking justice there, because it's really just kind of a shot around the back there. That one.
Oh no! I saw that image. I mean, that was, well, that armor really like accentuates their muscles, and then immediately went I. It's fucking bad, dude. It's real bad. Oh, I hate it here.
Yeah.
Oh, it's bad. It's bad.
Yeah. It's not great.
I do not like the helmet design. It makes their face look real wide.
Yeah. Most of that is, I think, just the art style, though. I think that's the art style and the angle.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's... Yeah, they made Dark Troopers, which are supposed to just be special stormtroopers. They also are force-sensitive stormtroopers, to add that factor in.
They're force sensitives.
Yeah, they have a very limited scope of force training.
That's just because people are getting tired of them getting tricked. These are not the droids you're looking for. You're right, sir. These aren't the ones. Now it's like, these aren't the droids you're looking for. The fuck was that? You didn't see anything. Stop waving your hands around. What are you doing? Oh, shit.
Shit, this one's not stupid.
Oh, he's gonna kick my ass. Look how muscular they are. They're gonna beat my ass.
The whole scope there, they've got the Dark Troopers, Stormtroopers, Army Troopers, pretty much the standard Imperial scope. Like everything the Empire already has, it's pretty much what they've got. On top of a few other things, including another upgraded version of the AT-AT, which instead of having heavy laser cannons, is actually equipped with turbo lasers.
Oh.
They also made a let's see if I can find it. Ah, there it is. There's this dumb piece of shit.
I'm glad
there was another
dumb piece of shit.
There's another droid I seem to have forgotten in the Dark Empire arsenal.
Uh-oh.
This hunkin' heap of shit is the XR-85 tank droid.
Ew. I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
Dude, they gave it fucking... Oh my god. Oh, what is that fucking tank? Oh shit. Oh shit.
What?
World War I. United States tank. It had the one gun on the side, the one gun on the front, the main gun. Oh, all they do was put a big tower on it. Oh, that sucks. Oh, no.
Yeah,
That's upsetting. I don't like this. You've showed me cursed things today. And
the Renault FT.
Yeah.
I mean, that may be the one you're thinking of.
Maybe. All I know is that you've showed me something cursed today, and I do not appreciate it.
Ah. You've been hitting me with the cringe bomb all this session, so...
Cringe is different than abject, like, fucking cancer. How dare you do this to me?
Look, I have to do it at least once. It's not fuck... Look, I had to do it, because we're not...
I had to do it to him.
If the Galaxy Gun didn't do it, then this shit sure as shit would've.
Oh, the Galaxy Gun did. I hate that thing, too. But, like, dog. This thing is, I think, the worst Star Wars thing you've ever shown me.
It's the worst thing?
I want to say it's real up there.
Well...
Why'd they put it on treads?
We just did.
You have repulsor lifts and all sorts of other things that make it so you can float. Why would you put it on treads? Why
did they make the Juggernaut tank get big ass fucking wheels? Why'd they put the turbo tank on giant fucking monster truck wheels?
Because they don't know what they're doing.
Star Wars is full of dumb, stupid designs.
The worst designs, dude.
Practicality? Fuck that. We go for whatever the fuck we want. There is no
what we think is fun.
There is no design formula in this. Do you hear me? There's no design scheme.
Bad.
We just do what we want when we introduce new things. So, think as far as the main forces they had on hand, that pretty much rounds out their ground arsenal. Nothing really different in terms of starfighters outside the addition of the TIE droid, which is also another fun thing. I don't know if you actually...
The TIE droid.
Yep.
I swear to God, if they just put a TIE fighter on the legs, I'm so fucking mad. This is what the kids enjoy. Oh, I mean, it's not bad.
And that is the TIE droid. You should remember what they look like, because you blow a bunch of them up when you play the Rogue Squadron mission.
Yep.
And you do the fucking blowing up the World Devastator. Which really brings us to the next vessel in our arsenal here.
Yeah!
Because now we get to look at the World Devastators.
Oh, dude, they're so blocky and stupid. I love them. Yeah! So stupid. Love it so much.
Star Wars super weapons. They're dumb, but we love them.
Oh.
And Legends has so many of them.
So many. Imagine dropping this big fat boy on a planet. People are like, what's going on? And then it starts eating the planet. You're like, no, don't do that. No, wait, what?
You just feel the ground shaking around you. All of a sudden, you're watching the Earth be upended several miles out.
Yep.
And all being swallowed into the maw of this massive black metal maw. This massive black metal maw. Incinerating and refining the entire planet down. Just so it can make more fucking starfighters. And more of itself.
Yep.
Because the World Devastators were built as factory ships. With these
Grey goo, dude.
It's so good. But they are easily my favorite super weapon in this whole fucking era.
Yeah, because it's not so much, I did it to blow up the planet, haha, it's, no, dude, we're running out of resources. Fucking start harvesting planets.
Yep.
We need to harvest whole planets for our war machines.
Yep. And then we get to another Super Star Destroyer on this list before we actually go to the big one. That being the Sovereign.
That dog shit.
Don't like the Sovereign.
No. No. It's like, they're like, what if we took a Mon Cal design but made it a Star Destroyer? It's fucking terrible.
So, yeah, the Sovereign is basically a mini version of the Eclipse.
Mm-hmm.
Because it, too, has a Super Star Destroyer gun built into it. It has the big fucking Eclipse gun built into it, but on a much smaller scale.
Yep, it sucks. I hate this.
And now we get to the big one. Now we get to the big one. The Eclipse
My boy!
Super Star Destroyer.
Oh. He's also dumb, but I love him.
But you love this one, you don't love the Sovereign.
No. The Sovereign's too round. It looks gross. I don't like it.
Is it because of your same, like, design hatred of Moncal ships?
Yeah.
Don't like rounded ships?
If you're gonna stop making spaceships tubes. Stop it. I'm gonna make a cool sci-fi ship. What's it gonna look like? Tube? Stop that. That's not cool. That's stupid. Don't make tube.
Yep, and of course we also have all the other stuff I have shared alongside the Galaxy Gun and the Modular Task Force Cruiser.
Yep.
So, baseline. Now that their arsenal is brought to bear, and for the most part we know what all of these are capable of. Because most of them basically show what they're all capable of, and I've described the few that didn't. How do we feel when we stack up the few of them? Reborn Empire first on this one.
Okay, Reborn Empire first.
Reborn Empire's arsenal first. Most of it is just the Empire stuff, but they added some new toys and modified some shit.
Dope. It's dope as shit. They've got some stuff that I absolutely abhor. But overall, dope as shit.
They also have tons of fucking super weapons.
I'd say a 4.
4?
Yeah.
Alright. And then first final order.
A 5, except you showed me that stupid droid tank.
Wow, even the Sovereign was enough to keep it at a 5.
Nah. The Sovereign sucks, but it's not nearly as fucking bad as that tank, dude. That thing sucks so much.
Awful.
Oh, I
it's
hate
the dumbest thing ever.
They put like an anti-vehicle turret on treads. I'm like, this is a tank. Stop that.
So first and final order. What do we feel about their arsenal bringing to bear?
Because
they actually brought a fair bit of unique stuff.
They got some good stuff.
Do have some unique stuff.
I would say, I mean, they brought a lot of unique stuff, but just because it's unique doesn't make it good. I would say probably also a 4.
I'm gonna go 4 on them as well.
Yeah. Because, like, everything they show is like, that looks cool except for blank.
Yeah. So, Reborn Empire for me, I think probably also sitting. I think I'm probably sitting at I'm sitting at a 4. So
okay.
Because the tank, and I personally am not as huge a fan of the big super star destroyers that they bring to bear. Like, the Eclipse is cool as a concept, and the fact that it's a super star destroyer with a fucking gravity well built in.
Yeah, that's dope.
Is insane. The Galaxy Gun is dumb as sin.
It's so bad.
The Eclipse and the Sovereign kind of kill it, and the Galaxy Gun doesn't help. The World Devastator is dope. The TIE droids are dope. All the fucking little droid units they get, the SD9, the SD10, the X1, all their cool stuff. The Shadow droids, they get so much cool stuff.
Yeah.
They get so much cool stuff, and while it stacks up really well, I don't think they have as much cool stuff that I enjoy on a aesthetic and mechanic level. Because really, for me at least, that one, like, Lightwalker, the Bomber, and the Zyston are really the only things I have a problem with when it comes to the First Order stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else I really enjoy about a lot of First Order stuff. Like, there's some stuff I'm not over the moon on, but a lot of their stuff I do kind of enjoy from a weird aesthetic standpoint. Like, even the ATM-6. I like the idea that this is just big-ass fucking siege gun. This is a fucking AT-AT they put a fucking siege cannon on. The little fucking dumb walker with the fucking grabby arm, that's dumb. That's dumb as shit. Their version of the AT-ST is really cool.
All their fucking armor designs are dope as shit. But I genuinely just don't care for... I don't like their bomber. Their bomber, I agree, is ugly as sin. I don't mind a lot of their other fighters. Transport is fine. The Resurgence, it's okay. The Mandator, it's meh. The Supremacy is cool because it's just wide. It's just a wide Superstar Destroyer instead of a longer Superstar Destroyer. I like the idea that they took a step away from the standard Star Destroyer to make something different when it came to a super ship.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I like the Supremacy as much as I do. But a lot of the arsenal for Reborn Empire really on design does not stack up to First Order, so I think I have to knock Reborn Empire to 3 for me.
That's fair.
So
here's actually something that I wanted to show you, which is why I thought that the First Order ship that's really long that got hyperspaced. This came out first.
Why
That's
does this
the Stellaris Juggernaut?
Oh. I don't think I've ever gotten deep enough into a Stellaris for him to actually build a Juggernaut.
No, dude, they're dope
The
as
biggest
shit,
thing I've
dog.
ever built was a Titan. I don't think I've ever built a Juggernaut.
Dude, Juggernauts are so good.
Yeah, no, I think for me, Reborn Empire sits at a 3 because they have some really dumb designs.
Okay.
Their design is not as good, in my opinion. They have some really cool stuff, and the stuff, even the dumb stuff does, is cool, but it doesn't stack up to me in terms of aesthetic. I do genuinely enjoy a lot more of the First Order's aesthetic, I'll admit it.
Okay.
A lot of their aesthetic stuff is really cool to me.
Yeah, understandable.
So First Order for me is probably going to sit at a 4. Because they also have some stuff that I'm like, this thing is ugly as sin.
Yeah.
And I'm not over the moon about a lot of their warships. But at the same time, they have enough in their design that I'm like, I can vibe with it. So I sit them at a 4. So the gap much wider now. But we are officially at double digits on both of them. So score right now, Reborn Empire sits at 20 overall. Final Order, First Final Order is at 11.
That's rough.
The gap keeps widening, but it's only marginally every time.
Yeah.
It's a marginal gap difference every time. So the next bit we're going to look at, and I think this is probably the big one.
Okay.
The way Palpatine is brought back.
Fuck, dude.
It's pretty much the exact same, but how it builds up is different.
Yeah.
Because Dark Empire starts with Palpatine has returned. This is a thing that's happening. Everybody's in trouble. You go through this whole thing, and every part of Dark Empire after is Palpatine trying to pick up the pieces throughout his Operation Shadowhand. He's basically scrambling to keep everything together after he loses the eclipse.
Yep.
It's a game of poking the bear, essentially. See how long you last after you poke that big ass grizzly. And he keeps playing this freaking back and forth attrition war bullshit. It doesn't work in his favor at all. Like, if anything, he actually loses a lot more than what he would have put out if he tried to build this up more steadily. We tried to take more of Thrawn's approach and build this up more steadily instead of this grand reveal of, I'm back, bitches. Like, it doesn't it doesn't pull off as well. Especially when you look at the way his empire, his reborn empire is managed, so much worse than his just general empire.
Yeah.
The Dark Empire didn't work. It never would. It was never going to work is the unfortunate part.
Yeah.
Doomed from the start. It was doomed to fail day one. Like, that's the unfortunate truth of Dark Empire. It was never going to be a plan that would have succeeded, no matter what happened. Everything was stacked against Palpatine, and no matter what he did, he would never have been, without years more prep time, which he couldn't afford because he was losing his ability to maintain the clone bodies. He was going to go through more resources than was necessary.
Yeah, because he's a jobber.
He was never going to be able to pull this whole escapade off. He was just going to lose. And it's different in terms of the sequels here, and this is a point I guess you could say in their favor, because even despite the original deck stacked against them, because of the New Republic's entire ignorance in this story, like them just flat out ignoring any possible threat this resurgent force of former Imperials posed. Like, what's...
They're so dumb.
They were left wide open to do what they wanted. The galaxy didn't acknowledge them. They were nothing in the eyes of the actual New Republic and its various governed bodies. But when it all came to a head, and they bared their fangs on the galaxy, suddenly they got their freaking ass whooped. When they finally brought their guns to bear, everything fell apart for them.
Yeah.
So for them, it was less a story. For them, it was less a matter of they were doomed day one. They had been preparing since day one. They had the time to build up the resources. They had the resources built up. The problem was plot.
Yeah.
There's just no other fucking... There's no other way to word it other than they were victims of plot. Much like our boy Maul, they were victims of the plot. Because by all accounts, they won. Like, they blew up the capital of the New Republic.
Which is wild while the Republic's like, they're just some nobodies. Like, dog, what do you mean? Like, what the fuck?
The New Republic in canon is fucking stupid.
They're the dumbest, dude.
And this is kind of where I'm like, they really had everything built up and prepared for them. Like, there was nothing that, by all accounts, could have stopped the First Final Order's efforts. They were set to bare their fangs against the galaxy, and they basically succeeded. Like, they killed the New Republic's capital. New Republic was fractured. Their leadership was disseminated and scattered. Most of them dead.
Yeah.
And even those that weren't actively in the New Republic anymore, they were off helping the Resistance. So by all accounts, they had no ability to really fight here. The New Republic had no... They had to basically stock up all the resources they had been throwing away in order to fight back. And even then, they really don't fight back until everything finally comes to a head at the last movie. the last part of that trilogy is when everything kind of comes together, and the New Republic finally, New Republic and the entire galaxy come out to basically bear down on the Final Order. Again, Palpatine basically still had, in that point, all the power to basically say, yeah, no, screw this noise. I'm just gonna delete this. You guys do what you want. This whole little problem you guys have, enough of that. Zap.
Yeah.
I do the big zap. But that's kind of where I'm like, it's dumb that even despite all that, when Palpatine got all his power, it really just amounted to, he didn't even need the army when it really came down to it. Yep. Just from that one display of power where he shot that entire fleet down out of the sky. What was the point of the fleet to begin with?
To look cool.
The fucking show of force? Sure. Because that's what Palpatine's story here is. And that's kind of the point I throw. That's the other unfortunate point I mark. That's the point I mark against the First and Final Order here is Palpatine in canon is so much worse written than he was in Legends.
Yes.
Because even in Legends, while he was very much still a jobber, he had more depth built to him, and there was reasons behind what he was doing.
Yeah, he wasn't cartoonishly evil.
He was preparing for the Force that was 40k levels of evil.
Yeah. I do a little evil now to save the galaxy from a lot of evil later.
Lesser of two evils is unfortunately his narrative there. Palpatine was just the lesser of two evils, because it was him or the Vong, and had the Vong arrived any point prior, the galaxy would have been screwed. They would have never been as prepared as they were. And even then, when they still appeared, the galaxy was not prepared for their return. They were getting absolutely floored for years. So you know another thing that's also funny about this little narrative? The timeline that the sequels would occur is roughly around the time the Vong War is ending.
Yeah.
It happens around 32 to 35 ABY is when the sequels occur. The Vong War ends by 35. Because by 35, we're dealing with the Darkness Crisis and Darth Caedus.
My boy.
Gearing up for the whole ordeal with Abeloth.
Yep.
Because by like 41 ABY, that's when we basically end off the expanded universe and officially jump ship less than 100 years, roughly like 60, like 80 years later into the Legacy era.
Yeah.
Which again, whole era I very much want to fucking get into at some point. I want to get into it. But this is kind of where we have to judge the two narratives between Dark Empire and how Palpatine's return was in this case, a very blatant and like frantic show of force. Like it wasn't even an organized one like it was in the sequels. Because I'll even say that he very much organized every effort here. Mm-hmm. His efforts throughout the sequels were organized, and his efforts in the Reborn Empire were very much not.
Yes.
That was a very frantic display and effort of trying to get control of the galaxy again.
Yes.
And
I would say
so let's first Final Order. Let's go ahead and rate theirs off first. with Palpatine's whole plan and narrative for First and Final Order. With
I
how
would say plan and narratively, I'd give it a 4. Execution, fucking 1.
So, would you say that balances out to about a 3 then?
Yes. Yeah.
So, knock to a 3. Reborn Empire.
2.
2. Understandable. For me, Reborn Empire is a 1.
Okay.
I don't care for Palpatine's effort in how he came back through Reborn Empire. I'll be upfront about it, and this will be hella fucking controversial.
Hot take incoming.
Hot take incoming. Palpatine's intentions throughout Legends were a much more understanding and were much more relatable and clear cut in how they were not just cartoonish evil, which when done right is fine, but in this case it's more a gutting of a character rather than actually making an effort to explain the meaning of something that nobody else knew.
Yeah.
The evil you know is better than the evil you don't, kind of deal.
Yep.
So, First Final Order for me probably sits about, only because of the fact the whole display Palpatine gives when he finally gets his fucking body rejuvenated. Like, when he's back up to full power again, it really does just kind of feel like he didn't even need the fleet he brought to bear. He could just command a single super ship and just go off and rampage across the galaxy again. So
Which makes me wonder,
it knocks the point down. It knocks a point down for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm gonna knock my original 4, which is what you gave it, to a 3.
Yeah.
So the gap is closing a bit more on this one. We are 17 for First and Final Order and 23 for Reborn Empire.
Okay. Okay, real quick. Palpatine, full strength, zaps a fleet.
Yep.
Why didn't he fucking do that at Endor?
Because he was too busy trying to turn Luke.
What a bitch.
Plus, he was doing all that while also micromanaging the entire fleet through battle meditation.
I mean, yeah, but like, fucking, who needs to micromanage the whole fleet when you can get rid of the enemy fleet?
I mean, he did that too because he demonstrated that when he had the fucking he had the Death Star super laser targeted destroy one of the Moncal cruisers. He destroyed a Liberty.
Yeah, that's one ship. Just fucking, dude.
We also have to remember that the Death Star laser is also a concentrated burst, and it does have a cooldown period.
Yeah, just fucking zap him.
Again, preoccupied trying to turn Luke.
Don't care. Zap him. Ah, yes, I will try and turn this one guy at the expense of my whole plan falling into ruin and me dying.
I mean, that's what you... when you take a gamble like that.
Dumbass.
I mean, it still would have worked out in his favor were it not for Vader double-crossing him.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what you get when you implement the rule of 2, dumbass.
And then try to fucking hinder the rule of 2 by crippling your fucking disciple at the knees, literally.
Fucking absolute jobber. God damn it, dude. Palpatine sucks.
He's not great. He's not a great villain.
He's a great villain. He's just not as smart as he thinks he is.
All right. Well,
the hubris of this man.
I think the only other bit to really touch on is, I think the other real bit to really kind of chomp at here is kind of looking at some of the characters at this point, kind of giving a brief glance at a number of the characters who were involved in both parts. Excluding Palpatine himself, we are going to be kind of taking a look at some of the iconic members, and we're going to get a fair bit more out of Dark Empire's roster than we will the sequels.
I can almost for sure cut this whole section down. Dark Empire wins. Duh. It's gonna be a fucking landslide.
At this point, it is pretty much just that. Like the character section, the character section here is. We just look at the First Order's whole roster, excluding Pride and a few of the extras. It's not a hard look at who fucking pulls this.
Yeah.
Few of the like side characters actually hold more interesting value than anything the main ones do. Like Hux is a fucking brat.
Yeah, don't like Hux. Finn's
Kylo Ren's
cool in the first movie and the third movie.
I mean, he's pretty much the only character I care for in all. Him and Poe are the only ones I genuinely care for in all three out of the newer characters. Finn is kind of one of the only characters that kept me watching it, because I genuinely did like Finn and Poe.
I liked Finn more than I liked Poe.
See, I'm kind of on the... I like both, but then again, I also really like Oscar Isaac, so I guess bias there.
I like... Okay, so Finn had a cool origin story. And, like, a fucking huge growth to him. Which is dope. Poe has been a fighter jockey, in all three movies.
Is that not the reason we like Wedge, though?
Wedge also has growth, though. I don't think Poe grew at all.
I mean, the character's good. What more development do you need?
I just made the Mary Sue right off the bat. It's good. No one can question.
I mean, it's not even a matter if you made the Mary Sue. You just made a character enjoyable, and you don't have to. Don't try to fix what's not broken.
I'll say he's a fun character. I wouldn't call him a good character.
He is a fun character. And he kind of serves as the pushing fuel to kind of give... He's less a like character necessitating any need for growth, and being more the sort of like fuel to push the others forward.
Got you. So he's a side character.
He's supporting main cast. He is the support role in the main cast.
Awful.
I'll actually say it, he pretty much serves Leia's role. He's the military leader and the people figure. Like, he's the one the people will go to when shit's hitting the fan.
Yeah.
He's the character that doesn't need the growth because, let's be honest, Leia didn't grow at all. She didn't really change at all throughout all the movies. The only real thing that changed was she got more attached to Han. There wasn't anything that really changed with Leia.
Yeah, you're right.
So he kind of fills Leia's slot as part of this new cast. He is he's the static face that serves as
the newest Disney princess, dude.
Shut up! Shut up! Oh my god, shut up. Oh my god.
The best part is, the second I said that, It's like you made a sound and it then cut, like your mic just like cut out. It's so good. However, we can both agree that Ray sucks.
Yeah, Ray is absolutely awful.
Just the worst.
There is no redemption to that character. There is no growth to that character in any meaningful way.
There's growth. She gets more powerful for no reason.
It's stupid.
She's the best at everything right off the bat. No need to grow.
Okay, but what about BB-8?
Suck shit.
Don't like the fucking ball droid?
No, I like my droids slow.
Do you mean that in a mental capacity, or?
No, like R2-D2, slow droid, perfect. Yeah, he gets a jetpack every now and then. That's cool. He moves at like walking speed. I love that shit.
R2 can very much zoom if he fucking desires.
Yeah,
R2 can fucking zoom.
He can't run side by side with a speeder. Fucking
Run,
BB-8.
Run, no. Fly, yes.
Yeah, BB-8 just fucking rolls.
I mean, he doesn't exactly have the same propulsion capability, so gotta give him some form of mobility.
Sucks, dude. Okay, so here's the thing. The second I saw BB-8, I went, that is there explicitly so Disney can sell merchandise.
Okay, but what about Dio?
Dio?
The little droid on the wheel from the last movie.
Absolutely forgettable. I have no idea who you're talking about.
I'm gonna grab a picture.
I've got no fucking clue what you're talking about.
I'm gonna grab a picture just to
forgettable.
spite you.
Damn, let me see a picture of this dumbass robot.
That's Dio.
You sure it's not from like the animated series?
Nope.
Completely forgettable. 100%. No idea who the fuck that is.
He was in the last movie.
He looks like shit. I hate him. Tell him I hate him.
Damn. When you have a name like Dio, kind of easy to hate.
He's not even doing a pose.
Exactly.
Bitch. This robot sucks.
Yeah.
Just, fuck me, dude. Oh! You know what's even crazier? For the most part, I can remember, like, everyone from, like, the prequel series and the prequel trilogy and the original trilogy.
Yeah.
There are main characters in the sequel trilogy I just do not remember the names of, or, like, who they actually were.
I mean, you mainly named we got all the ones that
Who's
are actually
the purple hair lady?
She is
That's not Mon Mothma.
No, that is, Admiral Holdo.
Cool, doesn't matter. She fucking jobs herself to death in one movie.
Well, the way she jobs herself is also pretty impressive. Visually.
If that was something they could do, why didn't they just do it from the beginning?
I think that's
Imagine
answering
being like, it's a super Star Destroyer. How are we going to defeat it? Fucking huck a empty transport at it. What the fuck? The idea that you can use hyperspace as a weapon is the dumbest shit.
I mean, it's technically been done well before. Because it's how
not here.
They literally use hyperspace as a weapon when they sabotage the Malevolence in the Clone Wars. Because they have its nav computer go haywire and they crash it into a moon when it goes hyperspace.
That's fine, because that, for me, that's more like an act of sabotage.
It's still...
They had to get onto the ship to fuck with the computer in order to make it crash.
It still means that as a... still kind of shows that hyperspace is technically still a danger to the ship no matter what fucking way you're going about it. Because you're still moving through that space. You're just moving at a beyond light speed.
But that's not what hyperspace is. I can understand if they hyperspaced it like to the moon and then it fucking crashed into the moon. That's fine. But once you go into hyperspace, you are no longer in real space. That's what hyperspace is.
Now, see, that is unfortunately another thing of where this is incorrect, because that's the exact reason why you have to worry about hyperlanes, because otherwise you run into a star black hole.
And those I get, because those would have high enough gravity wells attached to them that they could rip you out of hyperspace. A big dumb ship does not have the same gravity as a sun.
You are still a mass moving through what is effectively light speed. You're basically you're taking that split second as you jump to hyperspace to basically shotgun your mass through a object or objects.
Still dumb. Not what hyperspace is.
However, I will also throw the counterpoint of Star Wars science is fucking stupid.
It's the dumbest.
Star Wars science holds no actual real-world precedence and should never be taken in any particular context of real-world capability, because real-world capability in Star Wars doesn't even exist when you factor in time dilation.
So what I'm getting at is the hyperspace shotgun, essentially.
Be more like a rail cannon in this case, but
why didn't they do that against the Death Star? Why didn't they do that against the Superstar Destroyers?
The Death Star one would be more of a problem because the Death Star has a comparable body, has a much more sizable mass, and as we saw with the Malevolence, even a massive object like that was not able to break through a moon.
You don't have to destroy it. You could do that to disable it for sure. Launch that shit into the big dumb gun on it. Oh, wow. The laser comes from that section. Launch a ship at it. Now it can't fire. It has to go down for repairs. Cool. Now we can take our time blowing it the fuck up.
Again, Star Wars logic does not exist. Logic in Star Wars is a non-present thing. How do you think Palpatine returned?
Because of the machinations of Palpatine. We just went over this.
And how much sense did how much sense did it even actually make?
None of it. But at least there was something there. God, the hyperspace railgun is my most hated thing in the sequels. I hate that almost more than I hate Rey. No. I hate Rey just a little bit less than I hate the fucking hyperspace laser gun.
That's fucking insane.
Because yeah, Rey being a Mary Sue and just being good at everything, yeah, that sucks. That's a bad character. I don't like her. Using hyperspace as a shotgun railgun to destroy other ships ruins everything that has happened beforehand. All those rebel pilots and rebel bases that fucking died, you couldn't have just launched a one-man shuttle. The Battle of Hoth, you could have just been like, I know there's Star Destroyers up above us. We need to escape. As it's shooting down transports, you change, like, send one empty transport into hyperspace, just blow that bitch up. Then we can all leave. We only have to kill one guy instead of having hundreds of us die.
Hey, but on the moral scope, how many of them actually want to go through on that when they are already underpowered?
They're rebels.
On the logistical,
would die for a higher cause. That's the whole reason they exist.
On the much more logistical side of it, how often do you think that actually stacks up? You're throwing away credits.
As opposed to having the Empire blow them up and losing them anyway. Along with all the manpower on board. One empty transport will cost you way less than 5 or 6 full of people. That's economics, baby! Like the battle over Yavin, the battle over Hoth, the battle over Endor. Those are all times you could have been like, we have a transport with one guy on board. This is the final fight. Let's just fucking huck transports at all these Star Destroyers. Get shit on, idiots.
So, as much as I'd like to go over all the fucking characters for the Dark Empire stuff, I'm not about to go through that whole segment, especially since we're gonna be going over them all over again next week.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I fucked up the segment. I'm so passionate.
Really fucking heated about that one topic.
Oh.
Got into a whole debate and debacle over hyperspace as a weapon.
Oh,
which is dumb because I know
they must be
dumb in the first place because we know you can be attacked in hyperspace.
Yeah.
Because there are weapons that date back to the Old Republic. Over 3,000 years ago, they had weapons that could whack you in hyperspace.
Yes, but the Old Republic's not canon. Your silence speaks volumes.
Oh, one of these days when I get a fucking face cam, brother. When the face cam comes up.
Oh, you're gonna have the shenanigans cam. I can't fucking wait. Oh, fuck, dude. Oh.
That's pretty much the only other segment I could throw out here because because that's pretty much all the segments that are worth comparing at this point. And again, we're gonna be covering Dark Empire for next week. Going ahead and dropping that right now.
Yeah.
And after we cover Dark Empire, I will be taking a break from our Warlord segment to start discussing some other stuff.
Yeah.
Also next week, reminder, as we get to closing this out, Book Club, Thrawn book by Timothy Zahn. We will be going into that next week, and hopefully both of us will be all wrapped up and done with it, because I've got like 4 hours and 30 minutes left on my read back through.
Yeah, I got 4 hours.
Yeah, we'll be done and ready for it when it comes up on the 29th. It'll be this next Sunday, not tomorrow, but it will be that Sunday after Christmas before New Year's.
Yep.
So tune in for that. And our final tally score, because I'm throwing out the character segment entirely.
We all know who would have won.
Yeah. Though the gap ended up being a little closer towards the end. Final tally, Reborn Empire 23, First Final Order 17.
That's a lot closer than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. Yeah, 6-point gap.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe like a 15-point gap. That's actually a lot closer than I thought it was going to be.
To be fair, the arsenal that the First Order had saved
First
it.
Order's got some good shit in it.
The First
Too bad
Order,
it's all piloted by like jobbers and shitters, dude.
glub shittos.
Oh, it's bad.
The Reborn
You
Empire had a lot more early on that gave it points. As we got deeper into it, it really started to kind of peter out.
Yeah.
Just like the actual Dark Empire.
Oh.
Started
I'm
losing its
sad
steam.
now.
Started losing steam as it kept going. Meanwhile, the first Final Order started out slow, built up over time.
Yep.
So, there is some truth in both their narratives.
That's right. Hey, you know what they say? The turtle wins the race, except in this case, the turtle gets killed by his granddaughter.
I mean, technically the turtle lost both races.
the turtle was the only one racing and lost.
You both won and lost against yourself.
Schrodinger's turtle.
Schrodinger's turtle. God fucking damn it. Alright. So
Oh fuck.
that's gonna wrap this one up, because this one is easily gonna be on the board for our vlogger episodes. Because we've been doing this one for almost 3 hours.
Hell yeah, dude. Good episode.
We'll be returning later tonight together for some Helldivers, getting some of the crew for that one. Gonna go bully some Illuminate, maybe some bugs and bots along the way.
Gotta fuck up them squids, dude.
On top of that, in between, I will be dropping a new playthrough today and tomorrow.
Ooh.
Because the Awakening of the Rebellion mod team has officially released their Clone Wars mod, Awakening of the Clone Wars. And I am fucking excited to try out some of the stuff in that mod, because some of the mechanics they're going to implement will be transferred into Awakening of the Rebellion in their next build for it.
Hell yeah, dude.
So we're going to do... tonight we're going to have the CIS playthrough as our opener tonight. And tomorrow we will be doing a Republic playthrough.
Nice.
So I have 2 new active playthroughs going there and running that.
Plus your Zinj, but dude, you got a lot going on.
Plus Zinj, plus Gorbad, plus Skulltaker.
You got a lot going on.
I got a lot going on. Plus
There's
there's
a lot of strategy happening right now.
a lot of strategy. I mean, it's fine. I like playing my strategy games. So
It's true, they're fun.
strategy games are some of my favorite genres of games to get into, so I do not fucking mind this. I do not mind the existence I've born myself into.
you do not mind the hole you have buried yourself in.
This is fine. I am okay with the events that are currently transpiring around me.
Sitting in a house full of tiny units on the screen. This is fine.
This is fine. I'm okay with the events currently transpiring around me. But yeah, no, we're gonna pop back on later tonight for some Helldivers. We're gonna do so. I'm gonna get that episode out tonight, hopefully beforehand. If not, it'll come out sometime during. It all depends on how long editing software wants to upload it, but it'll be out sometime today. It'll be out sometime before the end of today, but I think that'll be where we end it off. Like I said, Dark Empire and Thrawn next week. next week we will be covering both of those and getting those sorted. And I hope to see you all next time. This has been the Freelancer signing off until then. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.